Connect.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Lord.
Hi. I almost went,
Jeez,
you
do
know what?
you not know what kind of project this has been?
I'm going to just drink out of the bottle.
Here's some Jack Daniels for you. Good Lord. That's like an 0 for 4. Had to burn out some brain cells.
Well, I was looking for our account. Will
I know,
Clark,
and I signed on just exactly per your instructions, and for whatever reason, the little circle icon would not light up, and I even went on the computer and I did it on the computer, and it wouldn't come on the computer either.
Are you going to speak to me after this show? That's
you know we're always podding this. Okay, so now look. All right, before we get going here, because of me sending you a video and you posting it, I know I've got a ton of questions about, hey, what's that car in the background?
But I already told them. I told them the story so you wouldn't have to deal with it. Did I tell me?
Well, yeah, I'm still getting a question, so I'm gonna clear it up right here.
Clear it up. It's a great story.
That was my mother-in-law's car, and when she passed, she willed it to my son Trey, and that's what he uses. And I let him park it in the garage, and I parked my truck outside. So
the video for me is super nostalgic, Will, because my grandfather, who's still with us, he's 97. He's going to be 98.
My.
I know, 98. Good genes in November. And he ties the tennis ball to park his car. And you had many comments on that.
That was kind of the, okay, you can't go further than this, otherwise we're going to crash into some stuff.
Oh my gosh!
But Trey does a great job with it, and it's a lot of fun. So, but hey, thanks for having me on. Sorry, I'm not an Instagram person, as you can tell.
Oh my gosh!
Lisa walked me through everything, and we still couldn't get on the damn thing. So.
Oh my gosh! I wish we had like behind the scenes video of what it was actually like when you were trying.
Oh, it was a cluster. It was a cluster. I'm just letting you know that right now. It was scrambling. I've been doing this since 6:55, trying to get on. So because I'm never late. So
I know you did. And I said that. I go, Will's never late. He's got this. Late. He went through it yesterday. Everything was fine. Oh my god.
And I was like, the little circle icon, it didn't light up to where I could go live on there, and for whatever reason, and so I don't know. I just went with another made up jobby, and then here we go.
You're the best. You're the best. Okay, so listen. When I put up your video, which was, like I said this earlier, it was, your swing is therapeutic, bottom line. And you had more comments, Will, about Will Clark made me love the game of baseball.
Oh.
On this thread. And I just want your response to what that's like. And I hate the question, how does it feel? But how does that feel to know you brought the love of the game that you love to so many people?
What's great about that question is, the Giants had just come off of a 100 loss season in '85. I was the first round draft choice. There were other guys that were making some inroads in the organization. And Al Rosen and Roger Craig, said, enough's enough. We're not going to lose. This is not what this organization is about. And so they trusted us. And, myself personally, I'm not one of those guys who I take losing lightly. No. That's like pulling teeth for me. And so, we did pretty good in '86. We made a little comeback. In '87, we're in the playoffs. '89, we're in the series. So, pretty quickly, the San Francisco Bay Area got sort of transformed from being kind of a laughingstock to, hey, look, we need to go see the Giants again because they're worth it. So I appreciate all of the fans out there, and I see quite a bit of them, as doing what I do during the game, wandering around. You wander around quite a bit, and I really appreciate the fans who who come out and support us every day. And now our age group is the season ticket holders.
Yeah, right. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. So will you tell the story of how you got your nickname and who gave it to you? Because it's maybe quite possibly the best
Okay, all right. So
ever.
So let me run this one by you real quick. Okay, so no matter what Kruk and Kipe say, all right, they embellish everything. Okay,
No, you're kidding.
But it was Bob Brenly and Mike Krukow in spring training. I was having a good spring training my rookie year there, and I was trying to make the team, and I just happened to have one of them days. It was just a great day. And I know either Brenly or Krukow, one of them said, if he's going to keep thrilling us, he needs to do that like every day or something like that. And so the will of thrill stuck. And then, a few days later, I had my birthday, and we were playing the Cubs.
March, baby?
Yeah, in March. Yeah, so I was always in spring training. And we're playing the Cubs. We're over in Mesa. And I come back to the ballpark after being in Mesa, and I had a brand spanking new pair of cowboy boots, and they painted them fluorescent orange, and they had air swoosh on the side, and it said Air Thrill, and they put the little Adidas logo on it, and they just wanted to see what was going to happen, whether I was going to, just blow a gasket or be one of the dudes. Yeah. And I was like, I looked at them all, I was like, you guys got me. I said, that was a good one right there. And we all laughed and giggled about it. And then the next day, Kruk and Brenly had a brand new pair of boots in my locker.
Now, on those boots, I maybe the story got embellished. Could have been. I thought they got like nailed down to the ground. Did they get nailed into the ground?
Oh, that was another prank.
Oh,
that was another prank. That was in Philadelphia.
That's a good one.
They nailed the boots because they had our locker room had like that tartan surface that's in a basketball court, and they nailed a pair of boots to the ground, so I couldn't get the boots out to get dressed to go on the airplane. Yeah, that's another story.
I love that. Kruk and Kipe.
Hey, look, that's the great part about baseball. Look, if you're going to be a practical joker and you want to go out there and you want to dish it out, you better be able to take it because you're going to take it. And
I learned my lesson with you.
Yeah, you and I always have one little back and forth. So.
Yes. So Richie asked a great question. I don't know. I know you were probably cussing me out while you were trying to get on this thing, but Richie was asking if you know what's going to happen with your retirement ceremony this season. Have the Giants given you any indication? Will it move to next season? Or do you know anything like that for the fans? They were so excited. I know you're thrilled, but they're so excited for you.
Well, first off, before we get going there, I love Richie to death, man. He is the consummate professional. And as far as I go, that's like the ultimate compliment. He is just a true pro, and I love Richie to death. It's great seeing him. But yeah, the Giants have said that they want to do the jersey retirement in front of a full packed house, live audience. And so they're going to push it off and do it next year. And I'm okay with that. There's a lot of things that need to get, resolved in our country right now, and a jersey retirement, we can push that back to next year till we get everything squared away, especially with the sport.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that's good to know, though. I'm glad that there's a plan in place. You mentioned Kruk and Kipe, and Krukow actually wrote into the thread when he saw your swing, and he said, greatest swing I ever played with. And you guys were roommates. You lived with his family, right?
Yeah, so my rookie year, he kind of took me under his wing and said, hey, we got a kind of a one-bedroom shack out behind the house.
Bunch of kids.
Yeah, you can come stay in it. And so, I did that. And then, I was a big part of his family. And that's where the Uncle Will comes from because, I'm Uncle Will to all of his kids and Dwayne's kids. And, we had a lot of fun. But, it really was a different time back then. And to watch the stadium go from really kind of not too many people there to having, in 1987, 1989, having 62,000 screaming San Franciscans. I mean, it was, I mean, I got little goosebumps going right now. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Thinking back, yeah. That's an like a tangible energy you can feel from fans. Like you can feel that vibe.
Yeah.
And you know, just use it to your advantage.
Uh-oh.
I wanted to read this.
I lost you for a second there.
Oh, you're okay. I wanted to just read this statement from a fan because it made me laugh. It's not a question. It's just a statement from Deborah.Kathleen. And she says, I love him. I was going to marry him. I was in the eighth grade. And he signed my shirt, heart, heart, heart. So I just thought that just epitomized how so many people feel about you, you know, that you are always so accommodating. And it's not easy because you are pulled in a lot of different directions. What's your key? What's your way to stay patient with the demands that fans have?
I mean, I tried to sign as much as possible, you know, before the game, but then there comes that line where you just got to draw a line in the sand and say, hey, look, you know, I'm getting ready to go out there and do my job. And so, you know, I tried to balance that. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, especially me being a younger player back then, but also at the same time, now going around the stadium and seeing people and then helping people out and stuff like that. It really is a, hey, thank you for everything you did for the Giants, not only back then, but also for the Giants, what you're doing now, because it means a lot to the players, the support that everybody gives.
A lot of people want to know if, and I've asked you this before, if you'll go into coaching or managing.
You know what? I actually retired to be, you know, closer to Trey at that time because Ella wasn't around, and then also be, you know, husband, father, the whole works. And I've actually enjoyed that side of things. I've really enjoyed being, you know, daddy and husband and father and all that. But also at the same time, I like keeping my hands in the sport. So for me personally right now, what I'm doing right now is fine.
Yeah.
Another thing too is, and you and I have talked about it, and I know Richie's going to agree with this wholeheartedly, is I am a type A individual, and I don't care whether I step on your toes or I'll bash you in the head or whatever it is. If you're losing, and we have lost here the last few years, I'm going to call you out. I'm going to flat out call you out, and I'm not going to mince any words. And a lot of people like that about me, but the modern day player doesn't necessarily like
Doesn't always register?
Yeah, I've called a few guys out, and you can see, you know, they tuck their tail between their legs and they go into another room. So,
well, we're not that far apart in age, and that's kind of the type of coaching that I grew up under as well. You know, I had a lot of encouragement, but when you weren't doing something well, fix it. You know, let's go. Like,
hey, look,
pull your head out and let's go.
You got it. And you know what? Our age group and most of the people that are, you know, paying attention to this right here, you know, it's constructive criticism. I'm not trying to, and you're not trying to. We're not trying to get on anybody, but we're trying to, you know, kick them in gear a little bit. Yeah. And guess what? If you're not responding to the kicking in gear, I'm going to stomp you.
I might kick you somewhere else.
There you go. Otherwise, hey, there's 20-something other teams out there. Hit the highway and go with one of them.
I love that. And you know, I'm just like, people don't know that side of me, but you do. So that leads to this question. This is a great question. It comes from Borg Family HB. These handles are always so weird. I love this. Did your intense focus, I love how he worded that, your intense focus in the batter spot come naturally, or was there something you did to get into that state of mind? Were you always laser focused?
You know what? I wasn't, and that's a great question. I wasn't, but I think the more at bats I had, the more I kind of bought into the program. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of stuff that you could do in the on deck circle just literally paying attention to the game, where, you know, it benefited you. One of them, I mean, and we talk about this in the past, is, you know, like the reading of Greg Maddox's lips. I'm just standing in the on deck circle with Kevin Mitchell and just like fastball in. It's like, well, hell, I'm gonna look fastball in, you know. Or here's another thing, and I see this every day. It's like, you know, you got a guy who's in the bullpen and he's warming up, and you know he's coming in to face you. And the first thing the hitter does is he walks over to the hitting coach and he goes, "Hey, what's this guy got?" Well, hell, if you were watching him down there in the damn bullpen, you'd figure out what the hell he's got. You know, so when I stepped into the on deck circle, that's when the focus started. Then when I got into the batter's box, I mean, I don't know what it was. I guess it was just zeroing in on my target or whatever. I mean, the whole building can burn down around me, and I was just focusing on that release point right here above the shoulder. If you let that ball go out of right here, guess what? I was zeroed in on it.
Well, I always feel like there's always this mixture to me of who players are. There are players who are just naturally athletic, but can't quite wrap their head around the, you know, the intelligence of the game always. They're just natural athletes, and it catches up to you after a while, right? Because you have to be able to read the game. And then there are players who are really smart and can go a long time, but they don't have all the natural ability that other players have. And then there's you, and you're that perfect mixture. Sitting in the well with Will is one of my favorite things, and also one of the scariest things, because he's like, "Heads up, it's coming your way," you know, and I'm like, oh God, here. And sure enough, I almost die. Like, every time you call it that it's going to come, you know, and you're always telling me, because I'm probably on my phone or writing down the score, and you're like, "IMG, coming your way." You know, I'm like, okay, all right. And sure enough, like you have, when do you feel that kicked in, that you could predict the game the way you can?
You know what? I was doing a pretty good job in college. You know, I had made a pretty good jump from high school, and I was doing a good job in college. But then when I went to the Olympic team, it kind of took it to the next level. And then, you know, that was really good. And then when I got into, you know, pro ball, and I went to Fresno, which was high A back then. It's basically San Jose. So San Jose used to be in Fresno.
Sure.
It was almost like you could predict everything that was coming up. And, you know, so then what I would do is, and then we talked about this before, because I hated to lose. All right. I'd walk up and down the dugout and say, "Hey, this is what's coming. This is why it's coming. You better look for it." And people were like, okay. And then they'd come back to the dugout and they were like, "You were right. I can't believe all of that came true." Right. And, you know, when you have a guy like that who, you know, not only is talented, but also leads by example, and he's trying to help everybody out, it just rallies everybody together. Yeah. You know, people talk about all the time, they talk about chemistry. That is chemistry right there. And that is how you go from being a very average team to being one of the special teams.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what do you think is going to happen with this season?
You know what? That's a great question, and I'm getting that a lot.
I bet, because you know stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean,
like up here, you're just smart with it. Like, you know what I mean? Not that you know what's going to happen, but you have a good feel for what's going on.
Right. And what I try to do is I try to keep, you know, updated on everything, whether it be through the Giants or whether it be through the Alumni Association or whatever.
Right.
And, you know, the big problem that baseball is having is we're in the middle of the epidemic type thing. And so they're trying to figure it out as they go. It's like on a job training. But also at the same time, you're talking about so many people and being close together, and, you know, the social distancing doesn't work in a dugout and stuff like that. So, you know, me personally, I hope that they start you know, getting some plans in place. But what's happening right now is, you know, as soon as they get an idea, they go blurt it to the press, and the press comes out, you know, and they talk about it, but
The
they haven't
media?
figured out the logistics. It's like, hey, hello, we
Don't
haven't
say that
figured this
yet.
out.
Yeah.
800 people, you know, that kind of thing. Plus, on top of that, you're not even talking about like trainers, coaches, managers, clubhouse staff, press and media, front office. I mean, all of these people, you know, travel on the road together. So, you know, what do we do? How do we quarantine? You know, I mean, there's a lot of questions involved there, and nobody's coming up with answers right now.
No, they're not. But it seems like they're getting a little bit closer to figuring stuff out. So I'm going to leave you with this. 2 of our camera guys wrote in. I've got Sammer, who's always with
Why are you leaving me? I'm just getting started. I got started 20 minutes late.
Okay, well, we can go longer. We can go.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll tell Richie we'll be on it. Richie, we're going to be on in 10 because Richie's always my second guest, and then he like picked me up because I couldn't find you, so he came in early.
Hey, Richie, I'm sorry I don't have wine in my forecast here, so sorry.
But maybe you would try Red Stitch wine, which is Richie's wine, if he sent you some.
I'd try Richie's wine any day of the week.
What about
I'm just letting you know right now, okay? Here, Jack Daniels burns out 0 for 4s a lot quicker than red wine.
Whoop, they're gone. I'm sorry, I don't remember what happened yesterday.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
Does Lisa drink wine?
Your camera guys, I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask, does Lisa drink wine? Does your wife drink wine?
Lisa will drink a little wine every now and then. She's a Chardonnay person.
Okay. So, Richie just said keep Will on, sweetie. He's such a
sweetie.
Okay, so 2 cameramen have written in, Sammer and Mike Muldowney. And so, Sammer, I love this. He says, can Will join the broadcast crew? I can listen to him all day. So, I don't know if Sammer wants me out and you in, but they want you all the time. They love hanging out with you in the dugout. And then I just wanted to tell this story. And I think you remember it. It happened like last year, maybe 2 years ago. But for Mike Muldowney runs the splash cam.
That was last year.
Is it last year? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is just a fun, like these are the things that fans don't get to hear about. So we're all in the dugout with Will and he's holding court. Shocker. Like, and all the camera guys are laughing because everything Will says is funny. And Mike Muldowney is one of my best buddies for 20 years. And he's sitting next to me and he goes, you know, Will was my favorite player. And I'm like, well, does Will know that? He goes, oh, I've never said anything. I've thought about asking him for an autograph, but you know, that's not professional. And I'm like, but at this point, like, you know, how long have you known him? And so I asked Will in that game if he would go surprise Mike Muldowney up on the splash cam with a signed ball. And you did. And I think Mike might have cried.
I'll tell you what, we caught him off guard because he was locked in, and you know, he's up there in right field on what is it, second to third deck or whatever it is. And
it's the third deck. It's view reserve.
Yeah, third deck.
Yeah.
And we went up there. It was you and me, and we had another camera crew because they were gonna.
I put it on. I'm like, this is the best thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, and we caught him off guard, and it was pretty cool because we caught him on his home turf. He didn't know anything about it, and it went well. But you know, that just shows you right there how much of a family the Giants are, because it's not just the guys on the field. And we talk about this all the time. You and I talk about it all the time. It is a collective, you know, effort, and the cameramen, you walking around the stands and dealing with the fans, and then also just other people. I mean, just your season ticket holders and the ticket office, and I mean, it doesn't just happen just like overnight, you know. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into playing a baseball game, and those 9 guys that are out on the field, I'm just letting you know, from my standpoint, I appreciate it because, you know, I've had the luxury of maturing a little bit, but
I'd love to see where this is going.
Yeah, but you know, it really is a great effort, and we
have a great crew. We have a great crew. They love you.
Oh, it's so much fun seeing everybody, you know, and especially catching the guys, you know, in the dugout before they go do, you know, the stuff on the camera and all that. It really is pretty cool.
Well, and what to me was so cool about it was Mike idolized you, but never even thought about telling you. Like he's like, nope, I'm doing my job. This is my job time. That's Will Clark. He's doing his job. And then here comes Mama G. Oh, well, let's see what we can do about this.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, it was years he's known you and never said anything. And I think there was more to the story about like he had tried to get your autograph and you had just gone past him or whatever. And it wasn't anything. You didn't blow him off or anything. It was just he just missed you.
Yeah, that's just kind of we were talking earlier. You know, it's like, you know, you try to sign as many autographs as possible, but then you reach a point that's like, hey, I got to go do my job here, and you got to cut it off somewhere. And I just missed him, but we made up for it.
We made it up. Yeah.
All right. What's some other? He
keeps it on his nightstand. So Paul 01143. Do you know who he is? He wants to know.
Hey, it took me 20 minutes to get on this damn thing. You think I know who Paul is?
You're the best. No, but I just said it was funny because it's such a random handle. He wants to know what made you choose 22.
Oh God, that's funny right there. So I was 23 the whole time I played in college. So that was my number. And I get to the Giants and I signed pretty quick and flew out to San Francisco. I was supposed to do a press conference, and then I was supposed to go, you know, to Fresno. And evidently I caught Murph kind of off guard, or they caught Murph off guard. Mike Murphy, our clubhouse guy, has been there for 150 years. And the only jersey they had around was Jack Clark's old jersey, 22. And so, you know, I did the press conference with Clark 22. So then the next year I make the big league club, and 23, which is the one that I wanted, was Jose Uribe's number. And I went up to Jose and he goes, "No, man, I no give my number to no rookie." And so I was like, all right, well, I went back to 22, Clark 22, which is Jack's number. And, you know, hey, look, I got called Jack for a few years, and that's fine because he was a great hitter. But so that's how Clark 22 sort of wound up. And, you know, if you guys know, my ranch is called Double Deuce. So 22, a lot of things revolve around 22 in my life.
What can you well, and like half the people that wrote comments when I put up your video, they have 22 in their handle, by the way. So
oh man, that's awesome.
Catchy.
Thank y'all.
Yeah,
Thank y'all so much for doing that. I mean, that means a lot because you know, like I said before, we're a big ass family, and y'all a part of my family.
Partner.
There you go.
What can you share about what your life is like on the ranch? What is it? You know, you're in Louisiana, right?
I am in Louisiana. My ranch is in Mississippi.
Okay.
It is a major decompression. I mean, after let's say, you know, you guys, I mean, after having been through the ringer for a week, you know, worked the 40-hour week, and you just want to take a big breath and get away from it all. That is therapeutic for me. Mm-hmm. And you know, I know that, you know, you're working out, and your husband, he does his thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's therapeutic for you guys. Yeah, and it gets you away from all of the craziness. You have to have something that separates you from the stupidity in your lives. And that does it for me.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah. How often are you taking hits off that tee? Because I think that seemed pretty therapeutic for you too.
Yeah, it's pretty therapeutic. You know what, Trey, my son Trey, he's out there every day. I don't necessarily get out there every day, but I get out there quite a bit. One of the things that I do for the Giants is I'm one of their special hitting instructor guys, and so I'll go around, you know, from time to time, whether it be the major leagues or the minor leagues. But when I go into the minor leagues, I will definitely hit quite a bit before I go there, because I'm always having a lot of questions as to like mechanic type stuff. And I need to literally physically show some of these guys, hey, look, this is the good way to do it. and this is the bad way to do it.
Right, right. You got a question from Dr. Laura 22. Told you. I'll put it
in.
Hey.
Hi, Doc.
Hey, Doc. Favorite moment from the St. Louis Cardinals rivalry?
Oh, wow. It had to be the
there
fight.
Was some brawl.
Had to be the fight. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, that all stemmed from something that happened the day before. Vince Coleman stole 2 bases. The Cardinals were up by like 7 runs, and we were playing behind him, and he stole 2 bases. And Matt Williams and I were screaming at him, telling him, "We're going to get you. We're going to get you." And we never got him that day. And so I was on first base, and I said, well, if I'm going into second base and I hate to run, I'm going in there, I'm going to hit somebody. And so I might have went a little bit out of the way, but I hit somebody and all hell broke loose.
I know. And I actually get like really, Paul likes to play that video for me. He likes to watch fight videos. We watch you and we watch Sean Dunston often. And I don't like it. You're like, because it takes a minute for you to have some protection. And I'm like, no, not my will.
Yeah, but check this out. I mean, and you guys all have seen the videos, so y'all can go to it and do your thing.
Yeah, well.
But one of the first people that's in there is Dusty Baker. Dusty was my hitting instructor for 5 years before he became my manager. He's right in the middle of it. And then Andy Maldonado, who's the guy that hit the ground ball,
right,
he comes flying in over the top and just cleans Ozzie Smith out.
They come in
till this day, when you talk to Candy, he talks about that punch every time.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this was a question. I thought this was kind of cool. I have no idea, so hopefully this means something to you. 1 Royale with cheese. That's who wrote this in. It's just their name.
Okay, all right.
Just forget that part.
Okay.
Does he remember the song "Proud to Be a Bulldog"?
Oh my God! They used to play it at Mississippi State all the time.
It says they played it at games during his days at State. Pitcher Gene Morgan's dad sang it. Do you know?
Yeah, matter of fact, our Gene Morgan was a senior when I was a junior, and Gene wound up getting drafted, and he made it to I think AA with Kansas City. But you know, yeah, I mean that was one of the big things at Mississippi State was they used to sing a lot of songs and stuff like that. And the one thing about Mississippi State was when you were there, you would have 15,000 people on a weekend SEC series, which back in those days, I mean, we'd go on the road and we'd outdraw people 3-1. And so, you know, when they started singing those songs and all that, I mean, the crowd got into it and the guys played better. So
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so what is your role right now with the Giants while there is no baseball? And are you paying attention? The draft is happening right now, so
yeah. You know what? I'm.
By the way, number 1 draft pick, Will, from Petaluma.
That's a great question. I am actually, as far as like while everything's going on, nothing's happening on my end of things because I'm physically one of those kind of guys that show up and work with you, you know, one-on-one, mano a mano. And as far as the draft goes, you know, there's only 5 rounds now.
Yeah.
And the colleges, they didn't even get, I mean, even a smidgen of a season. I think what they have 10 games, maybe 12 games, maybe under their belt before, you know, the rug got pulled out. So as far as the Giants go and who they're drafting, I do not know. I don't know which way they're heading.
Right.
Traditionally, the Giants have done a lot of pitching, but we also need some guys that slug. So
they drafted a catcher. I don't know who it is, but they drafted a catcher.
Okay, well, here's another thing too. We're one of the teams because of Bumgardner and somebody else. We actually have 7 picks this year. There's only 5 rounds, but we have 7 picks. So it ought to be interesting to see who these guys are.
Yes. Well, the number 1 draft pick was a kid from Petaluma. Went to my high school.
Oh, look at you go.
Torkelson or Torkelson?
Oh my, the first baseman from ASU.
Yeah. So he went to my high school.
Wow, we got a good one right there. We got a slugger.
You know Watch how out, we Brandon go. Belt. You know how we roll in Petaluma. Yes.
Watch out, Brandon Belt. If you don't kick it in gear, Torkelson take your butt off.
Yeah, Brandon Belt, text me back, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and by the way, Amy, look, I'm in my office, and I know how you are, but I got to show you this, all right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's right behind me. So, look.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah. There's one. And then, look, there's another one.
Well, oh, God.
Sorry, Amy.
I know.
I got to do that.
I feel like it's very genuine apology, too.
But you're in Petaluma. You're a country girl. You ought to be used to it.
There's a bar. Be used to it. If you and Lisa ever make it out here to Petaluma on one of your trips, you got to come up north. It's about an hour drive, so that'll probably tick you off, but that's okay. Because once you get here, I'll take you to a bar called Andreessen's that looks like your office. And it's Petaluma all the way. So, Richie wrote in, it's Torkelson, went to Detroit. So, yeah, that's our kid.
He went to Detroit?
He went to Detroit, yeah.
Oh, well, then we didn't get him.
No, I know we didn't get him. I said that. I just said he was a #1 draft pick.
Oh.
The Giants didn't have the #1.
I don't care about that.
I want to find out who the hell the Giants
was just sharing a little bit of my town with you. Jeez. I was proud of him.
Thanks, Richie, for telling me the truth. I appreciate it, bud.
I told you. Let's see who wrote in. Somebody asked if you would tell a Kevin Mitchell story.
Oh my God, I got so many Kevin Mitchell stories.
Boogie Bear.
Oh Jesus! All right, so here's a Kevin Mitchell story. So Kevin was a little bit on the, shall we say, a little bit plumper than normal, and we are leaving San Francisco, and it's one of those, sure enough, cold days in San Francisco. But we got to go to Phoenix, and we got to play an exhibition game against our AAA team down there. So we leave San Francisco. It's 45, 50 degrees, whatever it is. We get on the plane. We step off the plane in Phoenix, and it's 110. And Kevin is wearing a full-length, head-to-toe leather suit. Leather.
I heard.
All right.
Sorry.
Now he gets to sweating, and so the Boogie Bear is sweating bullets, right? And it's like, oh my God! And then all of a sudden he utters these words, and I can't make this up. He goes, "Dude, I gotta get out of this suit because I gotta go to the bathroom," and he can't get out of this. Leather has gotten wet, and now it's shrinking up around him. All you ladies that know about leather, I mean, oh my God. And so we get the trainers in the back, and we get like 5 pairs of scissors, and I'm one of the guys, and we are trying to cut this leather suit off of Kevin Mitchell while he's sweating in Phoenix, 110 degrees on the bus when the air conditioning is not working. And needless to say, we found a sweatsuit for him to wear after that because we made shreds of that thing.
Oh, that's the best. So
the Boogie Bear is the best. There's so many Boogie Bear stories. I got Boogie Bear stories forever. When we do this again, I got more Boogie Bear stories.
See, don't you love Instagram Live? Did I convert you?
Hey, look, we could have done this on Zoom. It'd have been a lot easier.
Yeah, but
and I'd have been on the computer a lot quicker.
Okay, next time I'm going to get you on Zoom. We'll do it on, I promise.
There you go. All right, what's another question?
No, I got to wrap it up. That's it. We're out.
Bull.
It's 1 minute.
That is so bull.
I know.
Richie, you need to come to my rescue here, all right? You took up like 20 minutes while I was trying to get logged in and all that crap, and the little Amy G, live thing didn't come available.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so listen, I can't thank you enough. I love you to pieces and your family, and I know you were really mad doing this, but I'm so glad you did, and the fans are just thank you. Thank you, Will Clark. You're the best.
Hey, look, I wanna first off thanks Richie for coming on there
I know.
And biding a little time for
He
me
did.
until
He
I
helped me out.
figured out all of this new stuff that I've never been involved with. But then second off is the fans. Look, you know, I might not get a chance to meet all of you guys, but this is something that we can get to doing and have a lot of fun with and all that. And you get a chance to look into a little bit of the life of a ball player, whether it be me or Richie, and then you get a chance to look into Amy G, who runs around the stadium and all that. Thank y'all so much for everything.
You're the best.
From the thrill to everybody out there. Hey, look, the last thing I'm gonna say, go Giants.